Have you ever faced a moment in life when everything you knew, everything you trusted, seemed to shatter? Imagine waking up one morning to find that your world has changed forever. A tragedy strikes, and alongside it comes betrayal from someone you held closest. How do you cope? How do you find the strength to move forward when life feels like it's closing in on you? Today, we'll embark on a journey inspired by Stoic philosophy, exploring the resilience of the human spirit. We'll meet Clara, a young architect whose life takes an unexpected turn, challenging her beliefs and forcing her to confront her deepest fears. Through her story, we'll uncover 10 critical lessons that helped her rebuild her life, step by step, fostering peace, strength, and wisdom along the way. Before we dive into Clara's journey, I have a small challenge for you. Watch this video to the end. Each lesson shared is a key to unlocking inner serenity and resilience, guiding you toward a life of balance and strength. Part 1. Facing the unseen storms. The calm before the storm. Clara's life seemed perfect. She had just been promoted at her firm, celebrated her engagement to a longtime partner, and was planning a dream vacation with her best friend Elena. She was known for her meticulous designs, her empathetic nature, and her unwavering trust in those she loved. Her days were filled with purpose and connection, a seemingly unshakable foundation. But as life often does, it threw her a storm she couldn't have anticipated. The breaking point. One rainy evening, Clara received a phone call that would change everything. Her father, a pillar of strength in her life, had been in a car accident. The loss was immediate, shocking, and unbearable. In the days following, as she struggled to process her grief, she discovered something even more heartbreaking. Her fiancé had been unfaithful, and Elena, the person she trusted most, had betrayed her confidence. Clara's world crumbled. The dual blow of losing her father and the betrayal of those closest to her left her feeling hollow, lost, and questioning her ability to trust anyone again. Every memory, every plan for the future seemed tainted by pain and doubt. The guiding light of Stoicism. It was during this time of despair that Clara stumbled upon a book on Stoic philosophy her father had once gifted her. The words of Marcus Aurelius spoke to her. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words became a lifeline, a spark of clarity in the chaos. Clara realized she couldn't change what had happened, but she could control how she responded to it. With this perspective, she decided to rebuild her life, starting from within. The first lesson: silence in adversity. Clara's first step was to embrace silence. She had always been someone who shared her struggles openly, but Stoicism taught her the value of inner strength. Instead of vocalizing her pain, she turned inward, using journaling and quiet reflection to process her emotions. At first, the silence felt heavy, like an unbearable weight, but gradually she found peace in it. Writing in her journal each morning allowed her to untangle her thoughts, have to face her grief and betrayal, without amplifying it through words shared with others. This newfound stillness became her sanctuary, a place where she could confront her pain with courage and patience. Strength in solitude. Through this silence, Clara discovered the power of solitude. She realized that healing didn't require the validation or advice of others. It required her own determination to face her emotions head-on. As the days turned into weeks, her mornings became sacred. She would wake early, light a candle in her father's memory, and write about the lessons she was learning. Clara's solitude wasn't isolation. It was a deliberate choice to rebuild her inner world. She began to see her pain not as a burden, but as a teacher. Each challenge she faced became an opportunity to grow stronger, to prove to herself that she could rise above the storms. Shad, your first takeaway. In moments of deep adversity, silence can be your greatest ally. By turning inward and processing your emotions quietly, you create space to heal and rebuild. Have you ever faced a moment when silence helped you find clarity? Share your experience in the comments below. Stay with us as we continue Clara's journey in part 2, where we'll explore how she learned to protect her trust and rebuild her relationships with wisdom and resilience. If you're ready to embrace the strength of silence, comment below, "I am ready to rebuild." Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of courage and transformation. Let's continue this journey together. Part 2, Rebuilding Trust and Protecting Your Inner Circle. When trust is broken, it leaves scars that run deep. Clara's journey toward healing wasn't just about recovering from her grief and betrayal. It was about learning to rebuild her trust in herself, and the relationships she valued. How do you move forward when those closest to you have let you down? How do you safeguard your heart while remaining open to the connections that give life meaning? Clara realized that she couldn't let the betrayal define her future. She had to find a way to navigate relationships with wisdom and caution, guided by lessons from Stoic philosophy. This next chapter in her journey is one of resilience, discernment, and growth. The lesson of boundaries. As Clara reflected on her experiences, she came across another quote from Marcus Aurelius: "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." This simple yet profound idea became her guiding principle. Clara understood that while she couldn't control others' actions, she could establish boundaries to protect her emotional well-being. She began by reassessing her relationships, focusing on those that brought positivity and trust into her life. Elena's betrayal had left a deep wound, but Clara chose not to dwell on anger or resentment. Instead, she practiced forgiveness, not for Elena's sake, but for her own. By releasing the weight of anger, she found space to focus on what truly mattered, rebuilding her sense of self and strengthening relationships that deserved her energy. The art of guarding secrets. One of the most painful lessons Clara learned was the importance of discretion. She realized that not every thought, dream, or vulnerability needed to be shared. In the past, she had been open with Elena, believing that their friendship was unshakable. But Stoicism reminded her of the value of safeguarding her inner world. Clara decided to keep her plans and feelings more private, sharing them only with those who had proven their loyalty over time. This wasn't about shutting people out. It was about ensuring that her trust was earned, not freely given. She practiced this by setting boundaries at work as well. While she valued her colleagues, she refrained from discussing personal matters, focusing instead on maintaining a professional and supportive environment. Rebuilding trust in others. Clara's journey also involved rediscovering her faith in humanity. It would have been easy for her to close herself off, to assume that everyone was capable of betrayal, but she chose a different path. Through her reflections, Clara understood that trust is not an all-or-nothing concept. It can be built gradually, like a bridge constructed brick by brick. She started small, opening up to her mother and a childhood friend, both of whom had always stood by her side. She leaned on them for support, knowing that their actions over the years had demonstrated their reliability. By nurturing these relationships, Clara realized that trust isn't about eliminating the risk of betrayal. It's about choosing to believe in the goodness of others while having the strength to walk away if that trust is broken again. Practicing discernment. One of the most valuable tools Clara gained from Stoicism was discernment. As Epictetus wrote, "First, learn the meaning of what you say and then speak." Clara applied this wisdom by carefully observing the actions and words of those around her before placing her trust in them. She learned to listen more and speak less, allowing time to reveal people's true intentions. This practice extended to her professional life. When her company brought in a new partner, Clara refrained from forming quick opinions. Instead, she observed how they handled challenges, how they treated their colleagues, and how they followed through on commitments. Her patience paid off as she built a strong working relationship based on mutual respect and trust. A new approach to friendship. Clara's experience with Elena taught her to approach friendships with a balanced mindset. She no longer sought to fill her life with many acquaintances, but instead focused on cultivating deep, meaningful connections with a select few. She reached out to an old friend, Sarah, whom she hadn't spoken to in years. Their reunion was like a breath of fresh air. Sarah's genuine kindness and unwavering support reminded Clara of the beauty of authentic relationships. This rekindled friendship became a source of joy and inspiration, proving to Clara that while betrayal can shatter trust, it cannot destroy the potential for meaningful connections. Your second takeaway. Trust, once broken, can be rebuilt, not by returning to the past, but by learning from it. Protecting your inner world, practicing discernment, and choosing relationships wisely are keys to maintaining emotional well-being and fostering genuine connections. Have you ever faced a situation where trust was broken? How did you navigate it? Share your thoughts and lessons in the comments below. Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore how Clara found strength and purpose by embracing new challenges and opportunities. If you're ready to protect your inner circle and rebuild trust, comment below. I choose to grow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of resilience and transformation. Together, let's continue this journey of strength and self-discovery. Part 3, the power of acceptance. Life often throws us into situations we cannot control. Loss, betrayal, failure. It's easy to become overwhelmed by frustration, regret, or anger. But what if we could find peace amidst the chaos? Clara's story continues with a powerful lesson in acceptance drawn from Stoic philosophy, which taught her to face life's challenges with clarity and composure. After taking steps to rebuild trust and protect her inner world, Clara began grappling with another profound realization. Some things in life cannot be changed. The loss of her father was final, the betrayal by her fiancé and friend irreversible. What mattered now was how she chose to respond. The turning point. Clara was sitting on a park bench one chilly morning, watching the world go by. Families laughed together, joggers moved with determination, and the leaves swirled gently in the wind. In this moment of stillness, she realized that life continues, no matter how heavy her heart felt. She recalled a passage from Epictetus. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. This principle struck a chord. Clara understood that while she couldn't change the past, she could change her perspective. She decided to embrace the concept of acceptance, not as surrender, but as a way to reclaim her power over what she could control. Facing loss with grace. Acceptance began with acknowledging her grief. Losing her father had left an ache in her soul, but she realized that fighting the pain only made it worse. Clara began to honor her emotions by allowing herself to feel them fully, without judgment. She started a ritual to keep her father's memory alive. Every Sunday morning, she would visit the local library where they used to spend time together. Sitting in their favorite corner, she would read a book and reflect on the values he had instilled in her: integrity, kindness, and resilience. Through this practice, Clara found comfort. She understood that while her father was no longer physically present, his influence remained a guiding light in her life. Accepting betrayal. The betrayal by her fiancé and friend was a harder pill to swallow. For weeks, Clara struggled with feelings of anger and humiliation. But as she delved deeper into Stoic teachings, she came across another profound idea from Marcus Aurelius. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. This reminded her that holding on to resentment was like carrying a weight that only slowed her down. Acceptance didn't mean excusing their actions. It meant choosing not to let those actions define her. Clara wrote letters to her ex-fiancé and Elena, not to send, but to express her emotions and release them. In the letters, she poured out her pain, her anger, and finally, her forgiveness. Writing these letters was a cathartic experience, helping her to let go of the past and focus on the present. The practice of letting go. Acceptance became an ongoing practice for Clara. Whenever she felt overwhelmed by emotions, she would pause and ask herself 2 questions. 1. Is this within my control? 2. How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? If the answer to the first question was no, she worked on releasing her attachment to the outcome. This wasn't always easy. There were days when the grief and anger resurfaced, but each time, she reminded herself that letting go was an act of strength, not weakness. Clara also incorporated meditation into her mornings, focusing on her breath and visualizing herself releasing the burdens of the past. These moments of stillness allowed her to reset and approach the day with a clear mind and open heart. The results of acceptance. As Clara practiced acceptance, she noticed subtle but significant changes in her life. She became less reactive and more composed. Situations that once filled her with anxiety, such as running into her ex-fiancé at a mutual friend's event, no longer had the same hold over her. Her relationships improved as well. By letting go of resentment, she was able to approach her family and friends with genuine warmth and appreciation. They, in turn, respond to her openness, strengthening the bonds that truly mattered. most importantly, Clara found a sense of peace she hadn't felt in months. Acceptance didn't erase the pain of her experiences, but it gave her the strength to move forward with grace and confidence. Your third takeaway. Acceptance is a powerful tool for reclaiming your inner peace. By focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot, you create space for healing and growth. Think about a challenge you're currently facing. What parts of it are within your control? How can you respond in a way that aligns with your values? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stay tuned for part 4, where we'll explore how Clara found renewed purpose by embracing gratitude and living intentionally. If you're ready to embrace acceptance, comment below. I choose peace. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and life lessons. Let's continue this journey of resilience and self-discovery together. Part 4, Turning Pain into Purpose. For Clara, the journey of healing wasn't just about overcoming personal challenges. It became a mission to turn her pain into something meaningful, not just for herself, but for those around her. Inspired by her father's values and guided by Stoic philosophy, she found a way to transform her struggles into a source of strength and inspiration for her community. As Clara embraced acceptance and began to rebuild her inner world, she realized that her experiences could serve as a powerful reminder to others that growth is possible, even in the face of immense adversity. Finding a new purpose. Clara's transformation began in her own home. She had always been passionate about architecture, seeing it as a way to create spaces that bring people together. But after her experiences, she wanted to focus on something even more personal, creating environments that foster healing and connection. She decided to redesign her small courtyard into a tranquil retreat, a place where she could reflect and find peace. Clara shared the process on social media, not for attention, but as a way to encourage others to find their own paths to healing. To her surprise, her posts resonated deeply. Friends and followers began reaching out, sharing their own struggles and thanking her for her honesty. Clara realized that by sharing her journey, she was creating a safe space for others to open up about their experiences. Building a support network. Encouraged by this response, Clara decided to take her efforts further. She organized a small gathering at her redesigned courtyard, inviting close friends and colleagues for an evening of reflection and connection. The event wasn't about solving anyone's problems. It was about listening, sharing, and finding solace in community. The gathering was a success. Clara's openness inspired others to share their stories, and the conversations were filled with empathy and encouragement. By the end of the evening, several guests expressed their gratitude, saying it was the first time they had felt truly understood in months. This experience sparked an idea. Clara decided to create a monthly gathering, open to anyone seeking a space to reflect and connect. She called it the Healing Circle, creating a ripple effect. The Healing Circle quickly grew in popularity. What started as a small group of friends expanded into a community of people from all walks of life: artists, professionals, students, and retirees, each bringing their own stories and perspectives. Clara structured the gatherings around themes inspired by Stoic principles: resilience, acceptance, gratitude, and forgiveness. She facilitated discussions, encouraged participants to share their experiences, and led simple activities like journaling or guided meditations. The impact was profound. Participants reported feeling lighter, more hopeful, and more equipped to handle their own challenges. Many of them began adopting practices like journaling, meditation, and gratitude into their daily lives, inspired by Clara's journey. Lessons from the community. Clara's Healing Circle wasn't just a source of support for others, it also became a space for her continued growth. Hearing the stories of resilience and strength from participants reinforced her belief in the power of community and shared experience. One story that particularly moved her was from Sarah, a single mother who had faced immense financial and emotional challenges after losing her job. Through the Healing Circle, Sarah found the courage to apply for a new position, ultimately securing a role that reignited her passion for teaching. Clara realized that every individual has the capacity for transformation, no matter how daunting their circumstances may seem. This understanding deepened her commitment to the Healing Circle and fueled her desire to expand its reach. Expanding the impact. Clara began exploring ways to bring the healing circle to a larger audience. She collaborated with local businesses to host gatherings in different locations, from parks to community centers. She also started recording short videos, sharing insights from the gatherings and lessons from Stoic philosophy, which she uploaded to her social media channels. The response was overwhelming. Clara received messages from people across the city and even from other parts of the world, expressing how her story and the healing circle had inspired them to begin their own journeys of healing and growth. A source of strength. Turning her pain into purpose transformed Clara's life in ways she never anticipated. The healing circle became a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of community. Clara discovered that by helping others, she was also helping herself, deepening her understanding of Stoic principles and reinforcing her belief in the strength of vulnerability. Her journey also had a profound impact on her relationships. Her family and close friends admired her courage and commitment, and their bonds grew stronger as they supported her efforts. Your fourth takeaway: pain, when faced with courage and acceptance, can become a powerful source of purpose. By sharing your journey and creating spaces for connection, you not only heal yourself, but also inspire others to grow and thrive. Have you ever turned a difficult experience into something meaningful? Share your story in the comments below. Stay tuned for part 5, where we'll explore how Clara discovered a lasting sense of balance and fulfillment through mindful living. If you're ready to turn your pain into purpose, comment below. I choose growth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and life lessons. Let's continue this journey of transformation together. Part 5, balancing purpose with self-care. As Clara's healing circle gained momentum and her purpose expanded, she found herself deeply invested in helping others. The joy of seeing people heal and grow fueled her drive, but it also began to take a toll. Balancing her newfound mission with her own well-being became her next challenge, a lesson in the importance of self-care and sustainable growth. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on balance and self-discipline, became her guide. Clara realized that to continue supporting others effectively, she needed to prioritize her own mental and emotional health. This part of her journey is a reminder of why self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity for anyone striving to create lasting impact. The signs of burnout. At first, Clara didn't notice the subtle signs of exhaustion. She spent her days planning healing circle gatherings, responding to messages, and creating content for her social media channels. Though she found her work meaningful, she began to feel drained. Small things started to pile up. She felt irritable, found it harder to focus during meetings, and noticed that her enthusiasm was waning. One evening, after a particularly long day, she realized she hadn't eaten a proper meal or taken a moment for herself in over 24 hours. Clara paused and asked herself an important question: how can I inspire others to care for themselves if I neglect my own well-being? Recognizing the need for self-care, Clara turned to her journal, the tool that had been her anchor throughout her journey. She listed the signs of burnout she was experiencing and reflected on how she could address them. One quote from Marcus Aurelius stood out: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." She understood that while she couldn't control the growing demands of her work, she could control how she managed her time and energy. It was time to restructure her days to prioritize her own well-being. Setting boundaries. The first step was setting boundaries. Clara realized she couldn't be available to everyone all the time. She began designating specific hours for responding to messages and planning events, leaving the rest of her day open for personal time. She also delegated tasks to trusted friends and collaborators who shared her passion for the healing circle. This allowed her to focus on what she did best, facilitating connections and sharing her story, while trusting others to handle logistical details. Setting these boundaries wasn't easy. Clara initially worried about disappointing people or losing momentum, but she reminded herself that by taking care of herself, she was ultimately ensuring the longevity of her mission. Reconnecting with joy, Clara also made a conscious effort to reconnect with the activities that brought her joy outside of her work. She started going on nature walks again, a hobby she had loved as a child, and spent time sketching architectural designs, not for clients, but for herself. These moments of personal creativity and connection to nature became her sanctuary, recharging her energy and rekindling her inspiration. Clara found that when she returned to her work after these breaks, she felt more focused and motivated. Building a routine of self-care. To sustain her well-being, Clara created a daily routine that incorporated self-care practices alongside her responsibilities. One morning reflection. She began each day with meditation and journaling, setting intentions for the day and grounding herself in Stoic principles. 2. Scheduled breaks. Clara blocked out time during her day for activities like reading, exercising, or simply enjoying a cup of tea in silence. 3. Digital detox. She established tech-free evenings, allowing herself to unplug from social media and emails to fully relax. 4. Gratitude practice. Before bed, she reflected on 3 things she was grateful for, reinforcing a positive mindset. The impact of self-care. As Clara integrated these practices into her life, the benefits were immediate. She felt more energized, creative, and emotionally balanced. Her gatherings became even more impactful, as her renewed sense of purpose and joy resonated with participants. By modeling self-care, Clara also inspired those in her community to prioritize their own well-being. During a healing circle session, she shared her struggles with burnout and the steps she had taken to address it. This honesty encouraged others to reflect on their own boundaries and routines, sparking meaningful discussions about balance and resilience. A new definition of success. Through this process, Clara redefined what success meant to her. It wasn't about the number of followers she gained or the size of her gatherings. It was about the quality of the connections she fostered and the joy she felt in her work. This shift in perspective allowed her to approach each day with gratitude and intention, celebrating small victories and staying present in the moment. Self-care is not a selfish act. It's an essential foundation for sustaining purpose and growth. By setting boundaries, reconnecting with joy, and building a routine of self-care, you ensure that your contributions remain meaningful and impactful. Reflect on your own life. Are you taking time to care for yourself while pursuing your goals? What changes can you make to prioritize your well-being? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're ready to embrace self-care as a foundation for success, comment below, I choose balance. Thank you for following Clara's journey and the powerful lessons of Stoic philosophy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and practical wisdom. Let's continue building a community of strength, resilience, and growth together. Part 6, Deepening Connections Through Resilience. As Clara continued her journey of healing and growth, she discovered something profound. The challenges she faced didn't just transform her, they also reshaped her relationships. Her newfound strength, self-awareness, and commitment to Stoic principles allowed her to approach her connections with greater authenticity and depth. In this part of her journey, Clara learned how to cultivate meaningful bonds, repair fractured relationships, and inspire others through her example. A fresh perspective on relationships. Clara's experience of betrayal had initially left her hesitant to trust again. But as she embraced forgiveness and acceptance, she began to see relationships in a new light. She realized that while she couldn't control others' actions, she could control how she approached her connections, with authenticity, boundaries, and gratitude. This shift in perspective started with her family. Clara had always been close to her mother, but grief over her father's passing had strained their relationship. They often found themselves arguing over small things, unable to fully express their shared pain. One evening, Clara decided to change that. She sat down with her mother and opened up about her feelings, not with blame, but with vulnerability. She expressed her gratitude for her mother's support and her desire to navigate their grief together. The conversation was emotional, but it marked a turning point. From that day forward, they worked to support each other, strengthening their bond through shared understanding. Rebuilding friendships. Reconnecting with friends was another area of growth for Clara. After her betrayal by Elena, she had distanced herself from many social circles, fearing further disappointment. But as her healing circle grew, Clara realized that meaningful friendships were essential for a fulfilling life. She reached out to old friends with whom she had lost touch, starting with Sarah, her childhood best friend. Their reunion was like stepping back in time, comfortable, warm, and full of laughter. Sarah had also experienced challenges in her life and was eager to rekindle their bond. Together, they supported each other, sharing lessons from their respective journeys. Clara found that these authentic connections were far more fulfilling than the superficial relationships she had previously prioritized. Navigating professional relationships. Clara also applied her Stoic insights to her professional life. As an architect, she often worked on collaborative projects with colleagues and clients. In the past, she had struggled to maintain boundaries, often overcommitting herself to please others. Now, Clara approached her work relationships with clarity and confidence. She communicated her needs and limitations respectfully, ensuring that her well-being remained a priority. Her colleagues noticed her calm demeanor and admired her ability to handle pressure without compromising her values. One specific instance stood out. A high-stakes project required a last-minute redesign due to a client's unexpected changes. While her team panicked, Clara remained composed. She calmly proposed a plan, dividing tasks and focusing on what could be achieved within the tight deadline. Her leadership not only saved the project, but also strengthened her team's trust in her abilities. Inspiring others through vulnerability. Clara's journey of resilience became a source of inspiration for those around her. By sharing her struggles and how she overcame them, she encouraged others to reflect on their own lives and take steps toward healing and growth. During one healing circle session, a participant named David shared his struggles with rebuilding his life after a difficult divorce. Inspired by Clara's openness, he began attending every gathering, journaling about his experiences, and slowly reconnecting with his estranged family. David's transformation became a powerful reminder to Clara of the ripple effect of resilience. Her willingness to be vulnerable and authentic had created a safe space for others to do the same. A ripple effect at home. Clara's commitment to deepening her relationships extended to her wider family. She organized a small family gathering to honor her father's memory, inviting relatives she hadn't seen in years. The event was filled with laughter, stories, and tears, a celebration of life and love that brought everyone closer together. Her cousins later told her how much they appreciated her efforts to keep the family connected. Clara realized that her journey wasn't just about personal healing, it was about fostering connection and community, starting with those she loved most. Strengthening romantic relationships. While Clara wasn't ready to enter a new romantic relationship, she reflected on what she wanted from future connections. She understood that trust, communication, and shared values were non-negotiable. She also committed to being open about her boundaries and expectations, ensuring that any future partnership would be built on mutual respect and understanding. This clarity gave her confidence and peace, knowing she was in control of her own emotional well-being. Your sixth takeaway. Resilience doesn't just transform you, it transforms your relationships. By approaching connections with authenticity, setting boundaries, and sharing your journey, you can foster meaningful bonds that enrich your life and inspire others. Think about the relationships in your life. Are there connections that need nurturing, boundaries that need setting, or conversations that need to happen? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're ready to deepen your connections and strengthen your relationships, comment below. I choose authenticity. Thank you for continuing to follow Clara's journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and lessons from Stoic philosophy. Together, let's build a community of growth, resilience, and meaningful connection. So part 7, finding stillness amid growth. As Clara's life began to stabilize and her relationships deepened, her healing circle expanded and her work flourished. However, with growth came an ever-increasing set of responsibilities. Meetings, planning sessions, and new opportunities filled her calendar. While Clara was grateful for the progress she had made, she began to notice a subtle but persistent tension within herself. She was moving so quickly that she risked losing the sense of stillness that had been foundational to her journey. Clara realized it was time to pause, to reflect, and to prioritize moments of stillness. Stoic philosophy taught her that true strength and clarity emerge from within, and she resolved to integrate periods of quiet reflection into her increasingly busy life. Recognizing the need for stillness. One afternoon, after a particularly hectic day, Clara sat at her desk, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks demanding her attention. As she glanced at her journal, a quote she had written months earlier stood out. "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Marcus Aurelius. These words reminded Clara that the calm she sought wasn't somewhere out in the world. It was within her. She just needed to make time to access it. That evening, she stepped away from her work, turned off her phone, and spent an hour meditating in her garden. The quiet was refreshing, like a cool breeze clearing the clutter in her mind. Clara realized she had been so focused on achieving external goals that she had neglected her internal well-being. Tasher building stillness into her life. Clara made a conscious decision to embrace stillness as an essential part of her routine. She began setting aside time each morning and evening to pause, reflect, and simply be. Her morning practice involved sitting in her garden, focusing on her breath, and letting her thoughts settle. These moments of quiet prepared her for the challenges of the day, allowing her to approach them with clarity and calm. In the evenings, she revisited her journal, reflecting on her actions and experiences. She asked herself questions inspired by Stoic principles. What did I do well today? Where could I improve? What am I grateful for? This nightly ritual not only deepened her self-awareness, but also helped her let go of the day's stress, ensuring she went to bed with a peaceful mind. The role of nature in stillness. Nature became Clara's sanctuary for stillness. On weekends, she would take long walks in the nearby forest or sit by the river, listening to the soothing sound of flowing water. These moments of connection with the natural world reminded her of the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature. Nature's cycles, its seasons, rhythms, and quiet resilience became a source of inspiration for Clara. Just as the river flowed steadily, adapting to obstacles in its path, she learned to navigate her own life with grace and patience. The benefits of embracing stillness. As Clara prioritized stillness, she noticed profound changes in her life. 1. Enhanced clarity. Quiet moments allowed her to see her priorities more clearly. She became more decisive and focused, no longer weighed down by unnecessary distractions. 2. Renewed energy. Stillness helped her recharge, making her more productive and creative in her work. 3. Deeper presence. Clara became more present in her interactions with others, listening more intently and responding with greater empathy. 4. Inner peace. By regularly returning to herself, she cultivated a sense of calm that remained with her, even during busy or stressful moments. Sharing the gift of stillness. Clara's commitment to stillness didn't go unnoticed. Her friends, family, and colleagues began to notice her calm demeanor and asked how she managed to stay so grounded. In response, Clara introduced the concept of stillness to her healing circle. She started each gathering with a brief meditation or quiet reflection, encouraging participants to pause and connect with their inner selves. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Many participants shared how these moments of quiet had helped them gain clarity and find peace amidst their own challenges. A reminder to stay present. One day, Clara received a handwritten letter from a participant in her healing circle. The letter described how practicing stillness had transformed their life, helping them navigate a difficult transition with grace. Reading the letter, Clara felt a deep sense of fulfillment. It was a reminder that the simple act of embracing stillness could create ripples of positive change, not just for herself, but for everyone around her. Your 7th takeaway. Stillness is a powerful tool for clarity, resilience, and inner peace. By carving out moments of quiet in your day, you can reconnect with yourself and approach life's challenges with renewed strength. When was the last time you allowed yourself to truly pause? How might you integrate moments of stillness into your daily routine? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're ready to embrace the power of stillness, comment below. I choose calm. Thank you for continuing to follow Clara's journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories and lessons from Stoic philosophy. Together, let's create a community of growth, peace, and inner strength. Part 8, Letting Go of Perfectionism. Clara had made incredible progress in her journey of healing and self-discovery. Yet, despite her growth, one persistent challenge lingered: the pressure to be perfect. As someone who thrived on excellence in her career and personal endeavors, Clara often found herself striving for unattainable standards. This perfectionism, while motivating in small doses, had become a burden, stealing her joy and adding unnecessary stress. Through Stoic philosophy, Clara learned an essential truth: perfection is an illusion. By letting go of the need to be flawless, she could embrace imperfection as an integral part of growth and authenticity. Recognizing the weight of perfectionism. Clara's struggle with perfectionism became evident during a healing circle gathering. She had spent weeks planning the event, ensuring every detail was flawless, from the venue's setup to the content of her presentation. On the day of the gathering, unexpected rain disrupted her carefully planned outdoor setup, forcing everyone to crowd into a smaller indoor space. Clara felt a surge of panic and disappointment, fearing the event would be ruined. But as the session progressed, she noticed something remarkable. The participants weren't focused on the setup or the venue. They were deeply engaged in the discussions and grateful for the opportunity to connect. This moment was a turning point for Clara. She realized that her perfectionism had blinded her to what truly mattered: the purpose and impact of the gathering, not its external details. Embracing imperfection. After the event, Clara reflected on what had happened. She turned to her journal and wrote, "Why am I chasing an ideal that doesn't exist? Perfection isn't necessary for meaning, connection, or growth. It's time to let it go." This realization led her to a profound quote by Epictetus: "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." Clara understood that growth, creativity, and connection all required patience and acceptance. Imperfection wasn't a flaw, it was a natural and necessary part of life. Practicing self-compassion. To combat her perfectionist tendencies, Clara began practicing self-compassion. Whenever she felt the pressure to meet impossible standards, she reminded herself that mistakes and setbacks were opportunities for learning, not evidence of failure. One way she did this was by celebrating small wins. Instead of fixating on what went wrong, Clara made a habit of acknowledging her efforts and progress. After each healing circle, she would reflect on what she had accomplished and how it had positively impacted others, no matter how minor the details seemed. This shift in perspective helped Clara release the fear of judgment and focus on the bigger picture. Imperfection and creativity. Clara also applied this lesson to her work as an architect. In the past, she would agonize over every detail of her designs, often delaying projects in pursuit of perfection. But now, she embraced the iterative nature of creativity, understanding that each draft was a stepping stone toward improvement. She began sharing her sketches and concepts with colleagues earlier in the process, inviting feedback and collaboration. This not only reduced her stress, but also led to more innovative and well-rounded designs. Connecting through vulnerability. As Clara let go of perfectionism, she noticed a positive shift in her relationships. By allowing herself to be vulnerable and authentic, she created deeper connections with those around her. During one healing circle session, Clara shared her struggles with perfectionism and the lessons she had learned. Her honesty resonated with the participants, many of whom admitted to facing similar challenges. One participant, a writer named Julia, shared how her fear of imperfection had kept her from finishing a novel she had been working on for years. Inspired by Clara's story, Julia committed to focusing on progress rather than perfection. Clara found that letting go of perfectionism was liberating. It allowed her to approach her work, relationships, and personal growth with greater ease and joy. Instead of striving to be perfect, she embraced the process of becoming, and she discovered that this process was far more rewarding. She also realized that imperfection made her relatable. By showing her flaws and sharing her journey, she inspired others to embrace their own. A new definition of success. Clara redefined success as the courage to try, the willingness to learn, and the ability to grow. She no longer measured her worth by external achievements, but by the authenticity and intention behind her actions. This shift not only improved her mental and emotional well-being, but also enhanced the quality of her contributions to her work and community. Perfection is an illusion, but progress is real. By letting go of the need to be flawless, you free yourself to grow, connect, and create with authenticity. Think about an area of your life where perfectionism holds you back. How can you begin to embrace imperfection and focus on progress instead? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Stomp Part 9, the transformative power of gratitude. As Clara's journey unfolded, she discovered that one of the simplest yet most profound practices she could embrace was gratitude. Life's challenges had taught her to value what truly mattered, and Stoic philosophy deepened her understanding of how gratitude could transform not only her perspective, but also her entire way of living. Gratitude became a cornerstone of Clara's daily routine, a tool for finding joy amidst hardship, reframing setbacks as opportunities, and cultivating a sense of abundance. In this part of her journey, how practicing gratitude enriched her life and inspired others to see the world through a more appreciative lens. Clara's practice of gratitude began in the quiet hours of the morning. She would sit in her garden, journal in hand, and list 3 things she was grateful for. At first, these lists were simple: the warmth of her morning coffee, the soft chirping of birds, the sunlight filtering through the trees. Over time, Clara's gratitude deepened. She began to reflect on less obvious blessings, her resilience in the face of challenges, the lessons she had learned from loss, and the connections she had cultivated with others. She realized that gratitude wasn't just about acknowledging the good things in life. It was also about finding meaning in difficulties and recognizing the beauty of imperfection. Has reframing challenges. One morning, Clara wrote in her journal, "I am grateful for the pain I've endured because it has taught me strength. I am grateful for the betrayal I experienced because it led me to discover my true friends. I am grateful for the uncertainty in my life because it reminds me to stay present and adaptable." This reframing of challenges into opportunities for growth became a powerful mental shift. Instead of seeing difficulties as obstacles, Clara began to view them as essential parts of her journey. This perspective allowed her to approach life's ups and downs with greater equanimity. Sharing gratitude with others. As Clara integrated gratitude into her life, she felt compelled to share this practice with her healing circle. During one session, she introduced a gratitude activity. Each participant was asked to write down 3 things they were grateful for, and then share one with the group. The exercise sparked emotional and heartfelt conversations. A participant named Daniel shared how he was grateful for the chance to reconnect with his estranged sibling, despite years of tension. Another participant, Sophie, expressed gratitude for the strength she found in herself after overcoming a personal health crisis. These stories created a ripple effect of positivity, inspiring everyone in the group to reflect more deeply on the blessings in their own lives. The science behind gratitude. Clara's experience was supported by research on gratitude's benefits. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can increase happiness and reduce depression, improve physical health and sleep quality, strengthen relationships and foster empathy, enhance resilience and optimism. Clara noticed these benefits firsthand. By focusing on gratitude, she felt more energized, hopeful, and connected to the world around her. Gratitude in relationships. Gratitude also transformed Clara's relationships. She made a habit of expressing her appreciation to the people in her life, her family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. One day, Clara wrote a letter to her mother, thanking her for her unwavering support and love during the toughest times. When her mother read the letter, she was moved to tears. This simple act of gratitude strengthened their bond and reminded them both of the importance of cherishing each other. Clara also started sending handwritten notes to her Healing Circle participants, thanking them for their courage and contributions. These small gestures created a sense of connection and community, reinforcing the group's shared purpose. gratitude as a daily ritual. To sustain her gratitude practice, Clara incorporated it into her daily routine. 1. Morning gratitude journaling. Clara began each day by listing 3 things she was grateful for, setting a positive tone for the day. 2. Gratitude walks. During her nature walks, she reflected on the beauty around her and silently expressed gratitude for the present moment. 3. Evening reflections. Before bed, she reviewed her day and noted moments that brought her joy or taught her valuable lessons. These rituals became anchors in her life, helping her stay grounded and focused on the abundance that surrounded her. Inspiring gratitude in the community. Clara's gratitude practice extended beyond her personal life. She organized a community event called Gratitude Day, inviting people to come together and share what they were thankful for. The event featured storytelling, music, and a gratitude wall where attendees could write down their reflections. The atmosphere was filled with warmth and positivity, and many participants left feeling inspired to start their own gratitude practices. For Clara, gratitude was more than just a practice, it was a way of life. By focusing on what she had rather than what she lacked, she cultivated a sense of contentment and fulfillment that no external achievement could provide. She learned that gratitude wasn't about ignoring life's challenges, but about finding the good within them. This perspective allowed her to approach each day with an open heart and a resilient spirit. Your 9th takeaway. Gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting your perspective, fostering resilience, and deepening your connections with others. By focusing on what you're thankful for, you can find joy and meaning in even the smallest moments. What are you grateful for today? Take a moment to reflect and share your thoughts in the comments below. If you're ready to embrace gratitude, comment below, "I am grateful." Thank you for continuing this journey with Clara. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of transformation and resilience. Let's continue to inspire each other with gratitude and positivity. Part 10, a life of purpose and fulfillment. Clara's journey was one of transformation, from heartbreak and betrayal to resilience and growth. Each lesson she learned, every practice she embraced, brought her closer to living a life of purpose and fulfillment. But Clara knew this was not the end of her story. True fulfillment, she realized, wasn't a destination. It was an ongoing process of growth, learning, and contribution. In this final part of her journey, Clara discovered how to weave the lessons of Stoic philosophy into every aspect of her life, creating a legacy of positivity and meaning. Defining purpose. After months of reflection and self-discovery, Clara took time to articulate her purpose. She wrote in her journal, "My purpose is to create spaces, both physical and emotional, where people can connect, heal, and grow. Through my work, my relationships, and my community, I aim to inspire others to find strength within themselves." This clarity became her guiding star, influencing her decisions and helping her stay aligned with her values. Bringing purpose to her work. As an architect, Clara began incorporating her personal values into her professional projects. She focused on designing spaces that fostered connection and well-being, community centers, libraries, and public parks where people could gather and feel at peace. One of her most fulfilling projects was a healing garden for a local hospital. Inspired by her own journey, Clara created a tranquil outdoor space where patients and families could find solace. The project was widely praised, but for Clara, the greatest reward was seeing people use the garden to reflect, reconnect, and heal. Expanding the healing circle. Clara's healing circle also grew in ways she never imagined. What began as a small gathering in her courtyard evolved into a city-wide movement. She partnered with local organizations to host workshops and retreats, sharing the principles of Stoicism and the practices that had transformed her life. Through these events, Clara met countless individuals who were on their own journeys of healing and growth. Their stories reminded her of the power of community and the ripple effect of positive change. Mentorship and legacy. Clara realized that part of living a purposeful life was helping others discover their own paths. She began mentoring younger architects, sharing not only her professional knowledge, but also the life lessons she had learned. One of her mentees, Mia, expressed how much Clara's guidance had inspired her to approach both work and life with greater intention. Mia went on to design a community space for underprivileged children and a project that Clara proudly supported. This mentorship became a source of fulfillment for Clara, as she saw her values being carried forward by the next generation. Embracing the present. While Clara was deeply committed to her purpose, she also made a conscious effort to stay present in her daily life. Stoic philosophy reminded her that true fulfillment comes from embracing the moment, not from chasing future achievements. She found joy in simple pleasures, sipping tea in her garden, laughing with friends, and watching the sunset after a long day. These moments, she realized, were just as meaningful as her larger accomplishments. A final reflection. One evening, as Clara prepared for a healing circle session, she took a moment to reflect on her journey. She thought about the pain and loss that had brought her to this point, and the strength and wisdom she had gained along the way. In her journal, she wrote, "I am grateful for every challenge, every setback, and every lesson. They have shaped me into who I am today. My life is not perfect, but it is meaningful, and that is enough." Inspiring others, Clara's story resonated far beyond her immediate circle. Through her social media channels, workshops, and public talks, she reached people from all walks of life. Her vulnerability and authenticity inspired others to confront their own challenges and embrace the process of growth. One message she received stood out: "Your journey has given me hope. I've started journaling and practicing gratitude, and it's already changing my perspective. Thank you for sharing your light." This feedback reinforced Clara's belief that even small acts of courage and kindness could create lasting impact. A call to action. Clara's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of Stoic philosophy. Her journey reminds us that no matter what challenges we face, we have the strength to rise, grow, and create meaning in our lives. Your final takeaway. Fulfillment isn't about achieving perfection. It's about living authentically, embracing growth, and contributing to the well-being of others. By aligning your actions with your values and staying present in the moment, you can create a life of purpose and joy. What does fulfillment mean to you? How can you take steps toward living a more purposeful life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If Clara's journey has inspired you, comment below. I choose purpose and growth. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to continue exploring stories of resilience and transformation. Remember, your story matters, and you have the power to create a life of meaning. See you in the next video, where we'll explore more lessons and insights to help you thrive. Until then, live with purpose and joy.